It's Joe, and this is my next project.
What's up? I'll tell you what's up. Tires. It's time to start thinking about tires. And I've kind of set this thing up the whole time to have about a 30-inch tire on the back. Well, trying to find the correct tire that's 30 inches. Haven't exactly done that with the right width and the right height. And when I measure this, the rear end should be off the ground 15 inches. And it's about 15 and a half. And the fender should be up 15 and it's up 16. So I think what I need to do is lower this car a little bit in the back. Ideally, I do want to have bigger tires in the back than the front. Just that's typical of these old hot rods. However, when I set this up, you can see the I-beam. I set it up 4 inches in the front. This frame is still 4 inches here. It kicks up. It's a little higher in the back, but looking back, I should not have done that. I should have given myself a little more height in there. And instead of raising the frame up, I think I'm gonna lower this body down. I'll get the tires fit to it and I can raise it back up. If I build it like it is, there'll be no way to adjust the height of it in the back, down a little or just to fine tune that. But I think if I lower it down, I'm gonna be able to fine tune that height and the tire clearance. I would like to cut this out. I plan on cutting this some. Plan on popping this whole fender out. And it's really gonna change the look of the car. I can't wait to do that. This whole fender's gonna come out a bit and give it a little bigger hip on there. So in order to lower down the back of the car, the frame is connected in 2 places. Well, 3 actually. It's connected right here in the back, right there. This piece right here, right there, goes up to that motor mount boss right there. So I'm gonna knock that loose, knock those little tacks loose and unbolt this piece. It's also connected in 2 places up here. It's connected to the core support right here, and the grill is connected to this little skid plate bracket. Other than that, the car is really not connected. It's sitting on a few 2x4s and some spacers, and it took me a while to straighten this thing up to get it how I wanted it. Turned out how I wanted it was not the way it ought to be, so I need to lower it in the back. I don't want to mess up this line in here because, and I've told you this here before, and I hope you understand, I think Super Chuck left a comment saying he wants to buy stock in Bondo. Well, I ain't scared to use Bondo, but this car's not gonna take very much. This is gonna get some Bondo in it. This line is gonna get cut and it's just gonna be a body line. This is gonna get covered up. Maybe I'm not gonna fill it with Bondo, but I'll cover it up. Anyway, Chuck, it's not gonna be a Bondo buggy, although I'm not opposed to that. Sculpt the car out of Bondo. Yeah, that'll work for me. Anyway, when we lower this car, it's gonna pivot right around this core support bolt, and hopefully I can lower it down. I'm gonna take this little spacer out here, and I'm having a problem here. I've got 1 inch here and a 1/2 inch here, but nothing else. So I'm gonna have to move these, and I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put like a 2x10 or something under this frame and move these things over in, drop them in the middle and run them back up. So that's today's 2-year plan. Let's see if we can get it done for Saturday. All right, let's talk about this floor. Part of the cool thing that I liked about making this build was I was gonna get to be able to save this floor. The frame is right underneath the floor, and then the bug frame is right outside. It's right here. See, it's right outside, underneath there. And this frame even kicks up a little bit to keep it under there, because I thought it would be cool if I could save this much of this floor. Well, it's looking like that's not going to be the case. So, plan is, I've got to cut it here. I need some clearance here, so I'm going to cut it at the top of the tunnel, right down. And this is going to sink down. The back's going to sink down a couple of inches. Front will sink down some, so I'm going to have to refloor. I'm just going to make a preliminary cut right along here somewhere, and probably have to come back and recut that. This cut along here, this little plug is right over the frame. I need to cut this frame. So I'm gonna take the scissor wheel, the 6-inch abrasive disc, and I'm gonna insert it right in here as far as I can get. Maybe I can cut up into here and across. Then I'm gonna go do it on the other side while the disc is still a large diameter. And then with the worn down disc, I can cut the rest of this. And I have a Sawzall, Samurai Sawzall. I can reach in there and get that. But while the disc is new, I can reach in here quite a ways, I'm thinking. So, how would you like to see this? Where would you? I think I'm gonna put you on the tripod on the other side. All right, that was easy enough. See, I wasted all that time kinking this frame, which I really didn't want to do, but I wanted to save the floor. Turns out I couldn't save the floor. That's okay. We'll go a different direction. And let's see right where everything was cut. And these aren't the final cut. The final cut. No, these are just another cut. I like the tunnel though. At least that's one thing we don't have to make. All right, let me see if I can get these spot welds off this little frame piece back here, break it off right in there on that thing. See if I can get that, and we will see if we can lower it down some. All right, I got those little things cut off there. They weren't too bad. Not too bad. I'll trim them up, clean them up, and we'll reuse them. Good thing I don't weld too good. Good thing I don't tack everything on there. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Right now, I'm gonna replace this 2x4 and a piece of 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna replace that with a piece of 1 inch, and I'm gonna screw these little stanchions in the back down 2 inches. So I'll lower it in the back 2 inches. Let's see what happens. Good thing I didn't get hit in the mouth. Well, didn't change things a whole lot, but what that's going to give us the ability to do, I can lock that frame in, marry it to the body, right about there, and that'll give us the ability to go back up if we want to, or run it a little lower in the back. I like it. Hey, thanks for tuning in.